Hi friends, welcome to another episode of In This Season, where we're all about growing
and glowing in each season.
Today we're going to be talking about whether single people are cursed. And the reason we're talking about this topic is we're exploring stereotypes surrounding singleness, especially in religious communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that the narrative that usually is attached to, if you are a person of faith and you have a faith community, something probably you have had people say and people talk about the fact that being single or late marriage, especially because I don't know how they define late marriage, but late marriage is a sign or a work of the devil. Mm-hmm. So if you are not married early, then you are cursed, mm-hmm. and there is a demon that is possessing that needs to be exorcised and things that need to be broken. And we're here to sort of discuss that and explore how that
being single can be a blessing.
Exactly. So Zerida, talk to us. What are some of the myths that you're a person of faith and you're a person from the faith community. What are some of the myths that you have had or experienced as an unpartnered person, but also someone who walked away from a bad relationship? Mm-hmm. So you find yourself at an intersection. So what are some of the myths you have experienced or you have had in relation to that?
To begin with, I know that I have heard people talk about, and I feel really bad talking about this because I personally think that it's disgusting, right? But just because it's something that I've been seeing a lot on social media and seeing a lot of I won't call it the gospel because it's not, but I've seen a lot of messaging around it, especially in faith-based communities, talking about the issue of spiritual husbands, right? I've seen people attributing other people's singleness to that very bizarre. For me, I think it's very disturbing, and that's one of the myths that I've had. I'm not going to go into it because I do not subscribe to that school of thought at all. Another thing that I have seen or heard, or that I've personally been I won't say victim, I have experienced. Yes. Another myth that I have experienced is like your life is over, all right? Your life is over, or your life doesn't exist, right? Yeah. So single people are you sort of face almost pity from certain people. You find a couple of married people who think they're better than you because they are married, and I've realized that recently it doesn't even matter what quality of partnership or marriage these people are in. A lot of people would rather be in an abusive marriage. They'd rather be in a polygamous. I won't even use polygamous because polygamous implies consent from both parties.
Well, one partner is cheated.
An adulterous marriage. They would rather be in that still. They still feel that they're better than you who's single. Yes, and so you find that sometimes at gatherings, it could be an older relative. I remember once I had an incident with an older relative. Not even a relative, it was a neighbor who came to Alumbe. It was kuteka komusika, right? My judges kuteka komusika, and the neighbor came for the event, my judge's neighbor. And so you know how when they ask young women, their question is ole mufumbo or no mwana, right?
Because that's what defines a woman.
I said no. She said tuino kunonyayo ninayo
pastor,
no ninayo kazini wange ninayo kundi. And I told her that respectfully and blah blah blah. What makes you think? You haven't asked me if I'm searching. Exactly. Like I appreciate the gesture, but I'm actually enjoying
myself
this season in my life. I'm taking my time. It's not like it's that's one of those things. So that's another one that they must hook you up with every available single person,
because they need to fix this. It needs to be fixed.
Yes, it's a problem for the community.
Yes, exactly.
That's another thing.
Exactly.
Another myth or assumption that is not true is that they assume that because you're single, you don't have things to do. Right. So there are those relatives that are quick to assign certain things to you.
Yeah.
Right. I remember one time having a similar exchange with a relative who found out that I was living on my own, had my own apartment.
How dare you?
And so they said to me, Anya kuma mama.
Okay, because mama needs to be kuma.
So because I am not married,
I should be the one.
That's my job.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You have nothing to
realize that my parent is an able-bodied, professional, whatever.
She can take care of herself.
What makes you think that she
needs me?
You know what I mean? And it wasn't even my mom. It was a relative being pained on behalf of
your mom.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
It was so that's another one.
Yeah.
That you should be.
Yeah.
I don't know, house sitter, parent sitter. I don't know. That's another
because you
one.
have nothing to do.
Yeah. And then another one is, old age. They fear for your old age.
Who will take care of you in your old? That's something that I hear often. Yeah, as if a child is a security for the future to take care of you.
Like, I would hate to bring a child into this
only
world
for the purpose of taking care of you after.
That's selfish.
Yeah, and also because the kid, like, look at us. Sometimes you're traveling, you're working abroad. Like, what if the kid also has their own dreams and their own lives?
Their life should not revolve around keeping you company.
Yeah, and yes, we understand. We are in an African community. We understand Ubuntu, and But again, how far do we go? To stretch this thing.
It's a very selfish reason to bring a child into the world. It's a lot of responsibility to bestow onto your child, unborn child, that child that you've given birth to as your hero, the one that's going to save you from loneliness, the one that's going to take care of you in your old age. What if this child, at 18 goes and marries
someone who lives in Iceland?
What happens to your security then? Because we see it happen
all the time. It happens all the time.
And that's just some of the few that I have.
Yeah, so for me, I think some of the few that I have in terms of the faith community that I've experienced has been just making, and I said this in the previous episode, just making single people's relationship statuses as a prayer point all the time. I understand the need to pray about things, and it's okay. Like I do pray about almost everything, but then it becomes an issue where in every gathering, if there is someone who's not married, you're making it a prayer point for them, even if they have not necessarily asked. Because it assumes that there's a problem,
that they are less than.
Exactly, and then you need to fix it, But then also the idea that, like for me, and I think now I've seen like a few main conferences, but most times you'll hear singles conferences, and the assumption is that the women are the ones going to these singles prayer gatherings, these singles meetings, and I'm like, is being single only a woman's thing? Do men get shamed for being single?
I think that they don't, and I think the reason why is because society-wise, they have the deciding card, right? So a man can decide, when he decides today, Wednesday, the 10th of May, that I want to get married. He can be married
anytime.
He decides
because they are doing the choosing.
Yes.
But are they?
Are they?
Yeah, are they?
Because at the end of the day, the choice goes two ways.
Exactly.
He can choose you, but if you don't choose him,
exactly. Yeah. So I think it's also a lie. It's also a myth that men are only men doing the choosing. We are also doing the choosing.
It's two-way.
Yeah, it's two-way. So for me, I think that is where the issue comes in. Like, how do we? I think that's what brings me to the next question. How do we stay content? Because now we have all these myths telling us this. Everyone is giving you all ideas about how your life should be as an unpartnered person or woman. How can you stay content in your singleness?
I think it's important to remind yourself of that you are the prize, because you are. The same way you're going to be so lucky to meet that person, you need to remember that they are going to be just as lucky to meet you.
Exactly.
You in all your beauty, you in all your goodness, you in all these amazing qualities that you've cultivated over years, and it's a two-way thing, right? So while you're sitting somewhere praying for a man, or praying for a happy family and praying for all these things, while you're sitting there, loving on yourself, investing in yourself, doing all these things for yourself, there's somebody else also doing all those things, and the two of you will meet. Yeah. And both of you will be better for knowing each other.
Exactly.
So it's not just you. They will be lucky to meet you.
Exactly.
Also.
Yeah. So it's reminding and affirming yourself of who you are, what you carry, your awesomeness, and not allowing the world to dim it.
Yes. You are a manager somewhere, you are a driver or a passenger, depending on how you get to where you're going. You are, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're so many things. Exactly.
Aspect of who you are. And relationship status is just one part. It could be 1 of 10, it could be 1 of 100, it could be, you know what I mean?
It's just
so
a very small
this one part
define.
What happens to the rest of you?
Perfect.
You know what I mean? If you take a piece of cake and there's just one bite missing, there's still all of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Left.
Yeah.
So you are still a complete being, even while this one thing in your life is not.
So how have you been able to keep that perspective alive? Because yes, I can know I'm more than my relationship. And I think many of us do know that we are more than our relationship status. But like, I've been single for 5 years. Am I a tree?
Let me tell you. Let me be
Am I a tree?
Let me not.
How do I not lose perspective?
I'm not even going to disillusion the viewers and make it seem like I have it figured out all the time, because I don't. There have been times when I have compromised on what I want for myself for the sake of being in a relationship. Yeah. I have tried to. But because I know how bad it is on the other side, I'm quick to realize that
a little touch of the water, you're like,
yes. I know at some point I met a man. There's certain things that I have always wanted for myself. There's certain people that I've always seen myself with. I'm attracted to men who are decisive and authoritative. I like a man who makes a plan. I like a man who takes charge.
Men, are you like hearing
that, and so not one who's going to hide behind me because there's a big bang outside. No. So I met a man who, once upon a time I met a man who ticked that box. He was a very confident man. He stood in his power and his energy. He took charge. He did all these things. And man, those parts were just, he was just,
setting on fire.
A lady boner because of how he,
like he just takes charge.
And he was also a, principled man. He had faith. He was just,
he ticked all the boxes.
But there was a coldness to him. He was very tough. There was a coldness to him that I could not
explain. On,
right? Because he ticked all those, but there was there was a thing
that wasn't just sitting well with you.
It was not sitting, but because I was ready to ignore it, right?
Because you were like,
yes. So I saw it through-ish. I went to the next, gave it a chance, but the thing was not shifting.
That wasn't just like working.
That. And experience.
Yeah.
One day I was just like, do you know what?
Instead, I'm out.
And a few months later, I said something on my Instagram, and this person commented.
That's a man.
Yeah, we were having this same conversation where I was telling women that you are more
than just
status. Yeah. And this man came spewing
hate, negativity.
And I remember going back to a friend of mine who I had talked to about this situation, and I remember telling her that, you remember that thing?
Yeah.
That was just not sitting right about this man because he was so nice to me.
Yeah.
But there was something
that wasn't sitting.
I just sent her a screenshot of that, and I was like, "You see,
this was it.
Yeah, this was it. This is who he is.
Yeah."
Because sometimes people can be nice to you, but please never delude yourself into thinking that a person who's not nice to other people
can be nice
to you.
It's just for a moment.
Yeah.
It's just for a moment.
Soon you'll join the others.
Yeah. It's just for a moment. For me, I think that some of the, being content is in this season has been knowing that I'm enough. And as you said, I'm not defined by my status.
Standing in your wholeness.
Starting in my, like, I am a multifaceted, complex woman that honestly, I cannot just be a girlfriend or a wife and that's it. Honestly, God in his graciousness and his beauty could not have risked all his time creating me just for one aspect. You know, so I refuse to be reduced to just one aspect of my existence. Being a wife is one aspect of me serving my partner, but it's not who I was made to be entirely, you know. So I think that is for me, perspective that helps me to stay content in this season. But it brings me to another question of, we're talking about being singleness, not being a curse. How has being unpartnered been a blessing?
Oh my gosh, I've talked about it. I think I've talked about this so many times. I have been able to grow into myself.
When you say grow into yourself, what does that mean?
I've taken the time because it's so easy to jump from one relationship to the other. Gathering trauma, you're gathering trauma, you're gathering trauma. Right? You just what's it called? Almost. You pick from here, you add.
So just adding. Then people are saying, you're getting bitter by the day.
It's really important to take some time
to
heal your heart. Heal and also figure out, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want? What do I not want?
How have you done that?
So many things. Therapy, meditation, just sitting with myself and learning to be comfortable with being alone. Because there's a lot of people who are in, you know how they say length of a relationship is not a measure of its success.
Nope.
There are a lot of people who are in relationships just because they are afraid of being alone. There are a lot of people who just can't be alone. So anyone will
You're screaming.
And you would hate, I personally would hate to end up in a relationship. Now that person is thinking, this person will do.
Exactly. No. Because you're the person there, so he's taking what's in front of him.
Okay, let me take care of that.
And do you know it's very, very common. When people say you're settling, it's because they're just, let's go with this one.
And men do that more than we do.
Because
they have the deciding card when he is ready.
Whoever is in front of him.
For a lot of men, I won't say that this is everybody's story, but I do know that for a lot of men, they will marry who is available when he's ready. It's not a popular opinion. It's true that a lot of men marry who is available when they're ready. Or the one who works the hardest. Having been someone who works the hardest. The one who works the hardest
wins the...
if he's ready, he's ready. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the person that they love, and I would hate for that.
Exactly.
Too. So for me, it's been, some of this learning about you. So it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. You have lonely periods. You have periods when you're just like, Banang, it's
I know.
To be under this duvet with someone. It happens. We're human beings.
Oh, it's festive season. My God, it's December. And
we want to do me and mine.
We want to wear matching pajamas.
For me and mine. Guys, the day my turn comes, I will me and mine you guys today. I will me and mine you guys today. I think I'll even say happy Monday for me and mine. Happy afternoon for me and mine. You know what I mean? But there's a saying that says, if you don't stand for something,
you'll fall for anything. That's true.
So it's really important to just come into yourself in that way and recognize that this is a deal breaker for me. Be clear about your deal breakers, whatever, and so that you don't waste time. Waste an entire lifetime. You meet people at the end of their lives. Like, I'm very interested in people, and so I usually talk to older women. I love to hear stories.
They're such a vibe.
And every time, I know I've spoken to several
older women,
grandparental age, and they look at you with this admiration of, you are brave enough to do things that we were not able.
Exactly.
Right? We are our grandparents.
I'm telling you, and I think the sooner we accept that, the quicker it will be for us to step into our true power. Because, guys, like, we are able to do, like, how are we having such conversations on camera? our grandparents could ever dream.
And that's not to say they didn't have these thoughts, by the way. For those who believe that the 2023 woman has a problem, it's not to say that they didn't have these thoughts.
There was there was just no space for them to try. It's quite amazing that we are in this day and age and able to step out into our true power and do the things that we are doing.
It really is. It really is. It's a privilege.
Yeah, and I think we must remind ourselves on that. And I think for me, some of the things that have helped me, of course, as you have said, is just sitting with myself and deciphering and seeing what is mine and what is not mine. Because I feel like most times we absorb society's expectations, especially if you're in a faith community, because we are taught right from our age how a woman should be and blah blah blah, and we are believers. We believe in the Bible and stuff like that, but we also know that sometimes the Bible has been laced with interpretations of men who teach it from their own perspectives,
their own experience,
exactly. So you hear certain teaching and you're like,
are you sure?
Did Jesus say? Is it not? So it's very important for you to sit and do for yourself what is indeed mine. Do I really believe this for me, or am I believing it because everyone else is believing it? So how has that been for you, trying to unlearn what the faith community has been teaching you in your season of singleness and saying, okay, this I believe, this I reject? How has that experience been for you?
It comes from, the thing is, just for me, just knowing that when that day comes, it will be me and
him and your partner.
You won't be there. All the spiritual leaders and all of those things. No, I mean me and God.
Yeah.
Right? The Bible is there, open for all of us to interpret as we see fit.
Yeah.
Right? They're guidelines.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're guidelines.
Yeah.
And from there, me knowing that it's going to be between me and God.
Yeah.
Don't judge how spiritual, how evil I am.
Yeah.
It's none of your business.
Yeah.
It's none of your business. And in deciding that, at the end of the day, knowing that God is a loving God, He sees your heart, He sees all of it, things that other people are not able to see. Not even your parents are able to see those things about you, but He's able to see them. And for me, that has given me comfort. So I move in the way that I deem appropriate. I see it as there are certain guidelines. So there are things that I will do, there are things that I will not do. There are things that, there are gray areas. Because if we go by everybody's interpretation.
Exactly.
When I was getting divorced, I was told that I couldn't remarry because the only scriptural grounds for divorce were adultery and death.
And it was none of the two.
At some point it was none of the two. And so they said that, so if you do go ahead and divorce, the other person can remarry,
but you cannot.
You can't,
because it's you who.
And I'm like, we were to take a more common sense.
We're both married.
Contract ends. Do you know what I mean? A contract can't half end.
Exactly.
If it ends, it
has ended.
It can't half end. It can't end for one party.
And
you know what I mean? No way. There's no way. So I was like, you know what? No. There's no way. God thinks like this.
Exactly.
There's no way. Later on, there was a new understanding that the contract ends. I'm like, but that was just common sense. I'm not even a lawyer, but that is just common sense.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot that you can say about
on that. No,
I
think that I totally agree with you. I think that personally, I have had the privilege of being in a number of faith communities, and for me, it has come down to realize, because I'm a feminist, and I know that it is in most church circles, there's a lot of stigma attached to feminism. And for me, I know what my feminism looks like. So it is understanding that there's a way that God also accepts women. God did not create women to be less than, or to be battered, or to be violated. It's not in the Bible, or to be considered servants for second class citizens. Yes, there is things that probably we may not be able to do because of certain physical limitations, but it does not mean that we are then less than. So for me, I view certain teachings, of course, with a pinch of salt. And as you grow older and as you get, you get more exposed, you sort of now decide for yourself, what do I take, what do I leave? So for me, that's what has really, really helped me. But I want to come back to the point that you had raised about aunties and everyone assuming everyone needs to be in a relationship. And that also comes in churches, in schools, everywhere we go. How do we break that assumption that everyone needs to be in a romantic relationship? Because we are in a relationship throughout our lives, with our friends, with our sisters, with our workmates. It's relationship. But the idea that the only important, that one that matters is a romantic relationship. So how do we break that stigma?
I think what we're doing,
or assumption,
as single women on the internet is really an important message for younger people and other unpartnered people out there who watch and realize that I think just living openly, proudly, happily, you know, we're sending out a really important message, comforting message, a message of comfort to other people who might be struggling with their singleness. You know, I think for me, that is the most important thing that you can do, just to live open and proudly and just share, because your friendships are important. Are you saying that this one person that you're going to meet
will be your everything?
It's going to be more important than people who have been there for you for
exactly
years.
You
get fine, there's a part of your heart that they occupy that no one
else will. That's true.
But there's a reason why, you know, love has different names. There's, I don't know, agape love,
eros,
there's different and different, but it's all love. They occupy
different
space in your heart that your mom occupies. Can never be replaced by your husband or your partner. Same as the space that your partner occupies will not be replaced by your parents. It also won't be occupied by your friends. So everyone has different roles to play in your life, and each role is important.
I remember there's a psychotherapist that I'm obsessed with. She's called Esther Perel.
I love Esther.
Like mine, think alike. So she has dedicated her life to researching relationships and love. And one thing that stood out for me many years ago,
it's called reimagining love.
Yes, reimagining love. I remember she mentioned something that in the why modern dating and modern love is catastrophic is because we have removed the idea of community from it. The idea that this one person will be our everything and end in all. And it is such a heavy burden to put on one person. So our forefathers used to have a community. They used to have Zerida for fun, used to have so and so for friendship, so and so for hunting. So their husband was maybe for intimacy. Like there are different roles each person plays in your life. That's why the idea that when you get married, cut off all your single friends, distance, like it's just so tragic, you know, because then what it's saying is that you're putting the burden on one person to be your everything, which honestly it's not possible.
Nobody can,
you know. So like I really like that point that you brought out. And I think lastly is my last question would be, finding joy in your singleness is something that we hear often. Finding joy in this season of your life and stuff like that, but it's easier said than done. So how can someone who's watching us and they're in their their unpartnered season and they're struggling to find joy, how can they find joy? What are some of the advice you can give someone who's watching us, who's unpartnered, and telling them, look, you can find joy? How can they do it?
It could be things like celebrating yourself. Like there's some particular occasions that are especially hard for single people a lot of the time. Things like Valentine's. Right?
Yeah, singlehood is a curse on Valentine's. Please, I beg. It doesn't have to be. You're right.
You can celebrate with your friends.
Exactly.
I do Valentine's.
Exactly.
Most of the time, we celebrate. We do all those things. You can. It doesn't mean that just because you don't have a partner, you don't send yourself flowers or receive flowers. Let your people know that you like to receive flowers. They can send you flowers. Ask them if you have to. Some people are not good at reading. You might hint and they won't pick up on it. Come and say that, guys, I would like to receive flowers on my birthday. I like these and these flowers, and they will. You know, things like that. Give your people a chance to love on you, but also self-love. Self-love, self-care, very, very important. It's not a must that just because this one person is not there in your life to celebrate you.
Come on.
It shouldn't be celebrated.
You're right. I know what you mean.
If you want to be bought for a massage, whatever, why are you waiting for someone to
exactly.
come buy it for yourself?
You
know, if you want, a whole treat for your birthday, don't wait for someone to come and save you.
Do it yourself. You
know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean.
The burden of
the other person, and you're reclaiming power.
Reclaiming your power.
You know, you're saying, look, I'm not powerless. I'm not waiting. I'm not holding my life out waiting for someone to come and make me happy.
But also, you need to remember that even if this person does come along, who's to say that he'll book you massages and do all these things?
You know, and I think that's, and you know, if you don't do that, I think that's when you hear men saying she's very demanding, because you have been waiting all your life for this one person to come to spoil you, buy you massage, take you here, take you there, because, you know, and I feel like it's very unrealistic for you to expect a man to do stuff for you that you can't even do for yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
So love on yourself. Love on yourself. Remind the people around. Give cheat codes. Give cheat codes to people around you. Let them know that, by the way, on my birthday, this is what I want.
Exactly.
I want someone book me a massage, someone send me flowers, someone book dinner, someone send a matching band, whatever. Send all your friends. Let them choose.
Yeah, I think for me, another thing that I would also highly encourage after what Zeri has said is finding joy in this season for me has looked like leaning heavily into the knowledge and the fact that I know God loves me, and that's enough. He doesn't love me because there's a man attached to me. He loves me, period. And because God loves me, I love myself. So because I love myself, I'm perfect and happy. And, you know, if a man comes along, that's a bonus. Yeah. But if he doesn't come along, we keep it moving. So I'm not holding out, pausing my joy, waiting for a person to come and pour into me, then I'll be, oh my God, blooming. No, I will bloom irrespective, you know? And I think for me, that would be the takeaway from this episode, that singleness is not a curse. It is a blessing, as we've said, in many aspects of life. And you do not have to pause your life waiting for someone to come in and be a blessing to you. Be a blessing to yourself.
Yeah, nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody's coming to save you. Yeah, be a blessing. To donate to an orphanage, do charity. Like, you don't have to wait for someone to come.
Don't. Take those trips.
Yeah, take those trips.
Sign up for that promotion. Do whatever it is that you need to do.
Get that tattoo. Do whatever. Like,
spend time with your friends. Spend time with your family. You know,
if you are a person who you want kids, adopt. Consider IVF. Like, there's many other ways of finding joy without necessarily just waiting for a man to come and save you.
Agreed.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below, and follow us on our personal Instagram pages.
Yeah.
Ciao.
And also share with a friend who might benefit from this conversation.
Exactly. Bye.